This is the GMAETS41 Support Student Education Initiative Program. I say, welcome to our mathematics class. In this video, I will be teaching you factors and multiples. Wow, my dear friends, I want to tell you something, okay, about these factors and multiples, because it's a topic in mathematics you want to take very seriously. Factors and multiples, whether in primary school, you meet it. You need the knowledge in secondary school. Is it in higher institution? Very important. You need the knowledge of factors and multiples. And so, as you have the opportunity to learn it today, from this video, make sure that you give attention, pay close attention to this lesson. Factors and multiples. So first, what do you understand by the term factors? On the board here we have these short notes that will guide you, okay? Definition of factors of a given number, and of course we have multiples. But we're starting with factors. Factors of a given number are the numbers that can divide that given number without any remainder. Now what do we mean by that? Let us assume that I give you the number 10. And I ask you, what are the factors of 10? All you should do is to ask yourself, which numbers can divide 10 and there will be no remainder? Which numbers can divide 10 completely? Now, you know I have always said this about the boat that you need to cross the mathematics bridge. Multiplication. Multiplication. Dear students, multiplication is one mathematical sign or process that you don't need to be playing with, okay? Make sure you have good knowledge of multiplication. Because coming to these factors and multiples, the example I just gave to you, you have the number 10, you are looking for the factors, all right? That is the numbers that can divide 10 without remainder. What can help you is your knowledge of multiplication. You quickly spin your brain, go to multiplication table, okay? Then think about it, okay, which numbers can multiply to give you 10? Numbers that can multiply to give you 10, those numbers can also divide 10. And those numbers are factors of 10. Now if you look at the board, we have another alternative way of defining factors of a number. We have that factors of a given number can also be defined as any of the various numbers that can be multiplied to get that given number. So once again, let's go back to our 10 example, alright? That's example of 10, the factors of 10. Now you want to ask yourself, what numbers can I multiply to get 10? When you know the numbers you can multiply to get 10, those numbers, like I said, can also divide 10 without remainder. Therefore, you've gotten the factors of 10. Very simple, is that not so? Good. Interestingly, all you need as a secret or a guideline to this is multiplication. And so once again, I'm using this opportunity through this video to encourage you to make sure you work on your multiplication skill very well. We have this example here we're going to use to explain the concept of factors, the meaning of factors. Now I'm taking the number 12. Is that okay? 12. Let us try to get the factors of 12. Are you ready? Now, if you go to multiplication table, you will agree with me that 1 times 12 will give us 12. It means that 1 and 12 are factors of 12. 1 can divide 12, there will be no remainder. 12 can also divide 12, there will be no remainder. Okay, can we now check 2 times table? When you think about 2 times table, you will agree with me that 2 times 6 will also give you 12. What does that tell you? That 2 is a factor of 12. 6 is also a factor of 12. Now, let's move on to 3 times table. Can you not tell me 3 times what will give you 12? That is very correct. 3 times 4 will give you 12. So, it simply means that 3 is a factor of 12 and 4 is also a factor of 12. Now, if you go to 6 times table, we have already talked about that from 2 times table. Because 2 times 6 gave us 12. So it means even if you go to 6 times table, 6 times 2 will also give you 12. Are you following? So this is just the trick, how fast you can get the factors of a number. So put together, this means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. They are factors of the number 12. Okay? Now let me quickly say this, please. 1 is a factor of every other number. Is that okay? And a number is a factor of itself. Don't forget what I've just said. Put it down in your notes. Is that okay? Put it down in your notes. Maybe under this part, okay, before we move on. Okay, let's say before we move on to multiples. Just under here, you can write notes. 1 is a factor of all numbers. Then, a number is a factor of itself. So if I pick something like 17, 17 is also a factor of 17. 1 is a factor of 17. I hope you remember this, right? Put it down. 1 is a factor of every other number, and a number is a factor of itself. When you are learning about factors, please, let me tell you something that is very important for you to do. Like if you look at this place, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12 as factors of 12. But think about this. What if you decide to use the knowledge of multiplication and then you said, okay, 1 times 12 is 12. So 1 and 12 will be factors of 12. You group that together. Then you go to 2 times 2. It's okay, now I know that 2 times 6 is 12. So you're now going to have 2, 6. 2 of them are also factors of 12. Then you go to 3 times 2. 3 times 4 would also give you 12. So 3 and 4 are factors of 12. Now once you get to the middle of any number, that is half of any number, the next factor of that number is the number itself. For example, look at this 12. When we are considering 12. When I got to 6, the next factor of 12 will be 12. So if it is 18, for example, we are talking about, half of 18, that is 18 divided by 2, will give you 9. 9 is a half of 18. So if you start writing the factors of 18, which of course include 1, 2, 3, the next one is 6, after that is 9. Once you get to 9, which is the middle of or half of 18, 10 can never be a factor of 18, 11 can never be, 12 can never be. Since you've gotten to half of it, which is 9, the next factor will be 18. It's another big secret. Write it in your notes. Once you get to half of any number, the next factor of that number you are going to meet is the number itself. Alright, coming back to what I said here, if you're able to group factors of a number, it will really help you a lot. There are other topics in mathematics that you would need that knowledge. Let me quickly mention one you will meet. Quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. Don't worry, when we treat it, you will learn that. Is that okay? Once you are able to arrange factors of a number using this pattern of multiplication knowledge, your problem is really solved. I mean, you'll be playing with factors. Is that okay? And even from lower class, you can solve some questions in higher class. Can we now move on to multiples? Multiples. On the board, we'll have the definition. A multiple is simply a number obtained by multiplying 2 or more numbers. So if I ask you that, okay, you have something like 12. 12 is a multiple of some numbers. If you multiply 1 and 12, you get 12. So 12 is a multiple of 1 and 12. If you multiply 2 times 6, you'll get 12. So 12 is also a multiple of 2. Are you following? If you do something like 3 times 6, you'll get 18. So 18 is a multiple of 3. 18 is also a multiple of 6. So when you multiply any two numbers and you get an answer, which is another number, that number you got is a multiple of the two numbers you multiplied. Next, we are going to focus. We'll now look at how to obtain factors of numbers, solve problems on that, and also obtain multiples of numbers. Like if I ask you what is the first multiple of 10, how would you get it? If I tell you what is the fifth multiple of 6, how will you get it? That is the next thing I am going to teach you. In this video, we have this question that we are to solve. Okay, we are asked to list all the factors of 100. Now, when I am done solving this question, as you follow along, watch and understand how we get the factors of a number, you will have to try yourself. Is that okay? You will list the factors of 72. So, just watch, pay attention, and follow what I am going to do here to get the factors of 100. Are you ready? Okay, so I'm going to write factors of 100. Factors factors of 100. Okay, this is going to be equal to, we are going to start from 1. Remember I told you in the introductory video to this topic that 1 is a factor of every number, and then every number is a factor of itself. So let us start and see. We would need the knowledge of multiplication. Are you ready? Let's go. Starting with 1 as a factor of 100, so this is going to give me 1. I'll now ask myself, 100 divided by 1, what will I get? It's going to give me 100. 100 divided by 1 will give me 100. Okay, so 1 and 100 are factors of 100. And that is true because if you do 1 times 100, you will get 100. Remember, factors of a number are the numbers that can divide that given number without remainder, or factors of a given number are the numbers, when you multiply them, you get that given number. So 1 and 100 are factors of 100. Let's move to 2. So 2, can it divide 100? Yes. Okay, 2 can divide 100. So let us find out. If 2 divides 100, what will you get? I will show you how you can actually get that. This is 100. Now I'm dividing it by 2. So I will show you something called short division method. How you can actually find out that 2 can divide 100. Are you ready? Now 2 can divide 2 and have 1. Then come to the numerator. 2 cannot divide 1. So you attach this 0. You attach this 0. Are you following? If you attach this 0, you get 10. 2 can divide 10. It will go 5 times. From 2 times table, 2 times 5 will give you 10. It means that if you use 2 to divide 10, which is the same as 10 divided by 2, you'll get 5. Then we have 0 here. 2 divides 0. That is 0 over 2. 0 over 2 will give you 0. Are you following? 0 divided by any number is 0. But please, not 0 divided by 0. 0 divided by 0 does not have answer. Okay, so just focus on this. 0 divided by 2, because we are dividing by 2, would give us 0. So do you see that 100 divided by 2, the answer is what? 50. So I will come over to this and say that 2 and 50 are factors of 100. Good. Let's move on. But what can actually help you to know if a number can be divided by 2? There is something we call rule of divisibility, okay? In our next class, I will teach you those rules before we talk about LCM and HCF. Rules of divisibility. These rules help us to know a number that can divide another one. For example, any even number can be divided by 2. That is any number that ends with, let's say, 2, 4, 6, 8. They can be divided by 2. Any number that also ends with 0 can be divided by 2. In this case, 100 ends with 0. So 2 can divide it and you get 50. Now, look at these two factors we got here. 2 and 50, if you multiply 2 times 50, you will get 100. So they are actually factors. Let's move on to 3. Can 3 divide 100? No. To the best of my knowledge in multiplication, you cannot multiply 3 by any number to get 100. So 3 cannot divide 100. Under the rules of divisibility, we will learn why 3 cannot divide 100. But quickly, let me just say something about that. How do you know if a number can be divided by 3? You will go to the number, add up the digits in that number. Add up the digits in that number. If what you got after adding, if that thing can be divided by 3, it means that 3 can divide the number. But if it cannot be divided by 3, it means 3 cannot divide the number which you added, okay? Now let us check here. 100, how many digits do we have there? 1, 0, 0, that is 3 digits. Now let us add them. 1 plus 0 will give you 1. Plus another 0 will give you 1. Now, if you add this thing, you would get 1. That is the digits in 100. 1, can it be divided by 3? If I have 1 orange now and I send 3 persons to go and share that 1 orange, is it possible? They cannot pick it 1, 1. It can't go around them. Are you getting? And so 1 cannot be divided by 3. Because the sum of these digits, the addition of these digits is 1, and 3 cannot divide 1. It simply means that 3 cannot also divide 100. So that's the rule of divisibility by 3. Like I said, don't worry, okay? We are going to learn that in our next mathematics class. So let us move on to 4. 4 can divide 100, okay? 4 can divide 100. Once again, I'm quickly going to show you that. On the other side of the board, 4 comma. If 4 goes into 100, what would we get? Let's find out. 100, so we are dividing it by 4. Now, 4 can divide 4, you get 1. 4 can go into 100, you get 25. Are you following? But if you don't like it that way, you can actually do short division. starting with the lowest number that can divide, which is 2. 2 can divide 4, you get 2 here. Then 2 can divide 100, already we got 50. That will be 50 over 2. Okay, if 2 divide 4, you get 2. 2 divide 100, you get 50. So that will be 50 over 2. Because you have over 2, you can still divide. You divide the denominator until you get to 1. 2 can divide 2, it will give you 1. And 2 can divide 50 to give you 25. But sorry, I'm not going to do that. The GMAETS41 has always encouraged students and pupils to learn their multiplication table at heart, very important. So I will use 4 directly to divide. Let's check. 4 divide 4, you get 1. Then can 4 divide 100? Let's find out. I'm going to use short division. Can 4 divide this 1? No. So you attach this 0. If you attach 0 to 1, you get 10. Is that okay? So you can now ask yourself, if 4 goes into 10, how many times? From 4 times table, you would notice that it is 2 times. Because 4 times 2 will give us what? 4 times 2 will give us 8. Now 4 times the next number, which is 4 times 3, will give us 12. 10 that you divided is between 8 and 12. So you pick the smaller number, which is 8. Then ask yourself, 4 times what gave you 8? 4 times 2, it gave us 8. It means that 4 can go into 10 just 2 times. And you know it's going to give you 8. So there will be remainder. And the remainder is 2. Let me attach the 2 here. I'll attach the 2 here. Then I will still divide this. 4 can go into 20. How many times? 5 times. So this simply tells us that 100 divided by 4 will give us 25. So I'll write it here. 25. Now let us move on. I'll be fast now. The next number, 5. Yes, 5 can divide 100. If you do that short division again, you are going to get that 5 can go into 120 times. Is that okay? And of course, 5 times 20 will give us 100. Now, can 6 divide 100? No. Can 7? No. Can 8? No. Can 9? No. Can 10 divide 100? Yes. If 10 goes into 100, it's going to give you 10. If you check from 10 times table, you would agree that 10 times 10 will give you 100. So yes, 10 can divide 100. Okay, do we move on? Can 11 divide? No. 12 divide? No. I think the next number after 10 that can divide 100 is 20. And that 20, we've already gotten it here. We've already gotten 20. So the next one is 25, which we've already gotten. After 25, 26 cannot divide, 27 cannot. The next number that can divide 100 will be 50. And 50 is half of 100, you know that. Which means we have gotten all the factors of 100. This is my answer. But let me arrange them in increasing order from smallest to biggest, okay? So factors of 100 is now equal to, we'll start with the smaller number, which is 1, the smallest number, 1, comma, the next one is 2, comma, the next one is 4, the next one is 5, the next one is 10. Now, you don't repeat this number because they're the same thing, just pick only one of the 10. Only one of the 10 there. After that, the next smaller number is 20. It's going to have 20. After that, the next one is 25. After 25, the next one is 50. After 50, the last one you move to, which is a factor of 100, is 100 itself. So these are the factors of 100. Answer. So you see that this is very simple, okay? All you need as a secret is your knowledge of multiplication table. The GMAETS41 has always encouraged students to make sure they learn their multiplication table. Please, make sure you do so. Is that okay? Make sure you memorize the multiplication table very well. And with that, this will become very simple. Following what I've done here, list the factors of 72. That's going to be your self-test work. Just test yourself out and see. Next, we are going to pick a question to get the multiples, all right, of numbers. In this video, we have a question here that is required for us to write down the first 6 multiples of 5. The first 6 multiples of 5. Before we solve this problem, let's quickly remind ourselves of what we said the multiple of numbers is. If I give you, say, a number, and I said, okay, this number is a multiple of what? All you need to do is to pick 2 numbers and multiply to see if you would get that particular number. As a quick one, think about 10. 10, okay? If you do 2 times 5, you get 10. So 10 is a multiple of 2. 10 is also a multiple of 5. And we can position these multiples just like you have it in multiplication table. Once again, the secret you need is just a multiplication table. And so you see, you really have to do a lot of work on multiplication. Yes, the work I mean is you want to make sure that you know your multiplication table at heart. Let us solve this problem. Write the first 6 multiples of 5. By the time I'm done with this, you are to test yourself with this question. You are expected to write the first 7 multiples of 6. That's going to be your assignment. And of course, you are required to submit it. Okay, so we are going to solve this. All we need to do to get the first 6 multiples of 5, we'll go to 5 times table. Then we'll start doing 5 times 1 times 2 times 3 down to times 6. The answers we get are the first 6 multiples of 5. So are you ready? Let us go. The first 6 multiples. The first 6 multiples of 5. 6 multiples of 5. That's what we are to get. So I will start by doing 5 times 1. That will give me the first multiple. So alright, first multiple. First multiple is equal to 5 times 1. 5 times 1. And 5 times 1 will give us what? 5. So 5 is the first multiple of 5. This will take us to second multiple. Second multiple of 5. I'm going to multiply 5 by 2. 5 times 2. 5 times 2. And 5 times 2 is going to give us 10. 5 times 2 will give us 10. So 10 is the second multiple. Are you following? Then third multiple of 5. Third multiple of 5. I know you already know where we are going to. Is that not so? Third multiple of 5 is going to give us 5 times 2. Okay, 5 times 3 rather. And 5 times 3 will give us 15. So 15 is the third multiple of 5. This will take us to fourth multiple. Fourth multiple of 5. Fourth multiple of 5 is 5 times 4. And 5 times 4 will give us 20. So 20 is the fourth multiple of 5. We have to do this down to 6 since we are looking for the sixth multiple, the first 6 multiples of 5. So fifth multiple of 5. Fifth multiple is going to give us 5 times 5. And 5 times 5 will give us 25. So 25 is the fifth multiple of 5. Lastly, the sixth multiple. Sixth multiple of 5. The sixth multiple of 5, you get it from doing 5 times 6. And that's going to give us 30 from 5 times 2, you know. So this is what we are to do. Then we can now list out the multiples. Look at them. From 5 to 30, you get your first 6 multiples of 5. Now, let me conclude it by this side of the board, please. Therefore, the first 6 multiples, permit me to bring down my hand here, multiples of 5 are, so we'll start 5. 5 is the first multiple of 5, followed by 10, the second multiple of 5, 15, the third multiple of 5, 20, the fourth multiple of 5, 25, the fifth multiple of 5, 30, the sixth multiple of 5. And this is our answer. So you're going to follow this principle, okay? Like I said, all you need is just your multiplication table. You might even choose not to list it this way. If you know your multiplication table, 5 times 1, 5, right? 5 times 2, 10. 5 times 3, 15. So you're getting 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 like that, even without showing it like this. So you see, you need to really work on your multiplication table. So solve this question. It's part of your assignment number 2. Remember, the first assignment was taken from factors under question 1, your self-test work. So you do that and then submit. If you like what the GMAETS41 is doing, talk about this program. The GMAETS41's Support Student Education Initiative Program. Tell your friends about it. Encourage them to contact us. We have our numbers there so as to get enrolled in this program. Alright, it's designed in order to improve your knowledge of mathematics and science. In our next class, we are going to deal with the rules of divisibility as well as LCM and HCF.